right next to the bus. Two of the girls were pointing up this Indian trying to show the third girl something, and they all giggled. Sorry. I was wondering what they were pointing and laughing at. So some time went by, and then one day I went by to the currency exchange right over there. On the way out, I decided to walk over by the Indian to the same spot where I seen these girls laughing and pointing to see what they thought was funny. Well, it turned out that if you look at the Indian from the exact same spot, his left foot is sticking out. It looks like his thing is sticking out of his pants. So me and my wife were going by this Indian on August 22nd, 2011. And it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I decided to get a picture of this. I just got a new smartphone, and I wanted to check it out to check out how good the camera would work. So I got out of the car and went to the spot and took about 4 pictures of the Indian. When we went home, and later that night, I went to look at the pictures I took. When I was checking these photos out, in one of the pictures, I noticed an object that was on the backside of the Indian. At first, I didn't think nothing of it. I figured it was a plane or something. But just for the heck of it, I enlarged it. It looked like something similar to a bird or a bat. But then, again, it doesn't. So I have no idea what it could be. I was elected to send it in, but I figured there was some explanation for this. But then I thought it qualifies as a UFO because I've never seen anything like this before, and I don't know what it could be. And then there's a picture of it, and I don't know what the hell that thing is.
It's not really clear enough to be able to tell.
Yeah, it could be a bat.
It also
could be a kite.
Right, but it also lacks context.
Right.
You don't know if that thing's like 10 feet away or 100 feet away.
Yeah.
Or even further away, you know?
True, yeah. It has no context of it whatsoever. Oh, I can see the thing on the Indian. Let's see. Here's one. There's another truck driver sighting. Let's hear from the police officer's report of a phantom sighting in our Gresham neighborhood, because that was the main one that we heard about through NPR and different sources.
Oh yeah, by the way, just to mention, whatever legitimacy you think this gives the story, but both Vice News and NPR Public Radio have done stories about this.
Yeah.
There's a really cool podcast on NPR called Curious City, which they tackle just issues related to Chicago specifically. They had an episode 2 years ago about this, and they just recently had another one, about 3 months ago, which, give it a listen, they're both pretty good. They're mostly dismissive of it being something paranormal. Obviously, they're trying to, keep up a reputation, I guess, but then Vice also has a pretty cool story from 2017 where they did a video about sightings in Chicago. So there's some national attraction there to the stories as well. It's not just local.
Right. I mean, yeah, especially something like this, like people are going to be naturally curious about. So, but here's one of the accounts from a police officer back in 2017. I'm going to tell you something that happened to me on the night on June 29th, 2017 in Chicago. I'm reporting this out of my own volition, and I wanted to stay anonymous due to the fact that I work for the Chicago Police Department, and I do not want anybody else to know that I submitted this report. I've been with the Chicago Police Department for over 8.5 years. The only people who know that I submitted this are my wife, my son who encouraged me to submit this, and my partner who also witnessed the incident. I want you to know that I'm in sound mind and health, and do not want any publicity other than just reporting the incident. I also want you to know that I'm not prone to fits of fancy or hoaxing anything that I've seen, especially while I'm on duty. On the night of June 29th, 2017, at approximately 11:15 p.m., my partner and I were on routine patrol approaching the intersection West 81st and South Troop in the Auburn-Gresham neighborhood of Chicago, which is on the south side. We were flagged out by a group of people who were pointing up to the top of an apartment building that was on the corner. We pulled over, and he immediately started telling us to look up at the building. Many people were very frightened and were very excited about what they were seeing what they've seen. My partner and I look and see a large creature that was approximately 6 to 6.5 feet tall and very thin. It had been inhuman, it would have been emaciated. This thing was standing on top of the building. It had looked like a pair of very large wings that extended out at least 8 to 10 feet from tip to tip. No discernible features. It just looked like a dark black shadow with wings. My partner and I thought it was somebody trying to jump from the building and maybe wearing a costume of some kind. When we both shone our lights to try to get a better look at what we were dealing with, the thing took off into the air and flew away. As this creature flew away, heading in the southern direction, something sounded like a scream came from it, and within a matter of about 5 seconds, this creature was gone into the night. People who initially flagged us down had said that many people in the neighborhood had seen this thing for the previous 2 nights, and it happened to be the only time it was seen in a stationary place. We stood there stunned as this thing flew away and disappeared into the night. We stood there and talked to the group of people who flagged us down, taking information down, any information regarding previous sightings from the night before. We initially were doubtful about filing a report because we thought we would be made fun of for seeing little green men. We finally filed a report as we did not want to violate protocol. Nothing was ever said about the report being filed, and as of right now, it has been business as usual. We wanted to file this report because after I told my son the story, he went online and showed me that this was not the only sighting of something similar being seen in the city. I showed my partner the day after the sightings, and he said he did not want to be involved, and as far as he was concerned, it was nothing more than a large owl or big bird that was just misidentified. My son was the one who encouraged me to file this and do it anonymously to protect my identity. I know what I saw was real, and even though I have no explanation as to what it truly is, I know that what I saw was flesh and blood. I am a Christian man who believes there are things that come from other planes and stalk the people of this earth, and that only one's faith can protect us from these things. I know that in my faith is strong, and therefore I'm protected, and I hope that I never see this thing again. Thank you very much for your time. Have a blessed day.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, coming from, if we can believe the story to be true, which it seems pretty elaborate to make up, but people write creepypasta stories on Reddit all the time. If it's believed to be true and it is actually a police officer, you want to sort of trust his judgment in when he says he saw something he's never seen before. It's almost like the same legitimacy I give to, or that people should give to pilots. When they report on UFOs. It's like, they fly all the time. They know what a flying object should look like of this earth. And if they say they've seen something that they've never seen before, gives it a little bit more legitimacy. And in this instance, a Chicago police officer, they see shit all the time that, they've never seen before, but, not often can they not explain it. So.
Police officers do lie, but not something this.
Well, they typically lie to cover up something, not to reveal something.
Yeah, because this is. Yeah, especially when there's a group of people of it and there's a report been filed.
Unless if there's a shooting that happens and they make up the Mothman.
The Mothman came down,
sprinkled some drugs down,
and flew away.
It's a different story at that point.
It was like, okay, we need y'all to sit down. We're gonna need your gun and your badge too. There's multiple witnesses. You have 2 police officers who wrote down a report. This might seem credible. I mean, not to say that this is a being from another plane or some mutated being. It could be a large bird. Could be what his partner is saying is a large bird, but that's something you can't just dismiss and throw away and say, no, this just didn't happen. You have to really seriously come investigated on it. Actually, there's another witness that comes forward from this incident.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now too.
Yeah, this is the second. Let's read their account. This is again on phantommonsters.com. I hesitated to send this in for two reasons. First, I'm still not 100% sure what I believe, that I believe it myself. And second, I'm trying to be a journalist, and I do not want this kind of thing of a report to discredit me for my future career opportunities. That is why I'm sending this anonymously, and that's why I'm not interested in following up about any of this. I'm talking about the story while drinking with my siblings the other night, and my sister pointed out they remind her of some of the stories that have been circulating online. When I looked into it myself, surprised to see that my story had already been personally reported earlier this month. On June 29th, I was walking home from getting Wendy's with a small group of friends when one of my friends pointed to a dark shape in a tree on the corner of West 81st and South Troop. The thing was big, but details were hard to make out at night. Then the thing jumped out of the tree and flew onto the roof of an apartment building on the same block. When it flew, I got a chance to see that it was a tall, dark thing with wide wings. Nothing like that Mothman statue they got in Point Pleasant. A group of friends had started to form on the corner with my friends and me, group of people. Then some of the people on the corner who I had not met previously flagged down a cop car to point the thing out. That's when my friends and I quietly slipped away. I am a transgender woman, and I've had my share of bad interactions with police. My friends felt similarly. I now believe that the officer I saw was the same officer who reported the story about seeing that thing on the same night. I still think it might have some logical explanations, but I thought there might be others interested in hearing the story and coming to their own conclusions. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, so we don't know if that's the exact. There's reference there, but we don't know if it's the exact same incident that the cop was involved in as well.
Right.
But she does say that, she did say, I now believe that the officer I saw was the same officer who reported the story about seeing this thing on the same night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a report of it appearing at Lollapalooza because apparently it didn't get any tickets.
You know what though? I'm just sort of blown away by the sheer amount of incidents that were reported in 2017.
Yeah.
It was a lot. And if you look at the timeline and when they were reported,
mm-hmm.
this thing doesn't appear in, Elk Grove one day and then downtown the next day. It's
right.
Chronologically,
right.
The reports are coming from similar areas.
Right.
So that the sightings move around, but they're not sporadic.
Right.
Between March 22nd of 2017
mm-hmm.
and then coming up to April of 2017, there's a bunch of the sightings of this thing in Lincoln Park,
right.
Chicago. And they all sort of describe the same characteristics.
Right.
Large, black, winged creature with red eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that very interesting. And this is contrary to what I thought. The report sort of didn't stop. They continued into 2018,
right.
and then into 2019 too. I thought this sort of had died down for a while.
It's still been going on.
It must have just been me not paying attention to it during that time.
Yeah.
I thought it kind of died down, but apparently not.
Mm-hmm. Here's a report on Monday, September 12th, 2017. This is in Little Village at about 10:30 p.m. Person writing this letter. I was leaving work, walking down the street towards Millard Avenue in Little Village neighborhood, Chicago. I stopped at the store to pick up a couple of items I needed at home and left. Turning to my left onto Millard Avenue to walk towards home. As I was walking, I saw something that looked like a large person, but had huge black wings and a pair of glowing orange eyes. At first, I thought it might be an owl, but as I got closer, I realized that this person was at least 7 feet tall. I'm 5'4", and this thing towered over me. It stood there, looked right at me for approximately 10 seconds, and made a sort of chirping sound as I approached it. My first thought.
As I approached it.